Do you have a child that's struggling with independence? Maybe they're not, they're still living at home, they're in their 20s, late teens, maybe even older. They might be struggling with addiction, maybe, or maybe they're on the spectrum and they're resisting school, they're having a hard time maybe holding down employment. This video is for you. I'm going to share what I've channeled around these areas so that it can maybe give you a new perspective to handle and address your child in a different way. I'm a channel group of cosmic beings that are here to help us on our human journey, and they're always sharing such beautiful, insightful information that really just helps you to identify the bigger picture behind what your experiences are. Nothing in this life is not past life related. It's connected to mission and purpose. You have soul contracts with people, parents, partners, children, trauma, even challenges, and all of these things are so important to understand in order for you to look at your life in the way that your higher self wants you to, so you can make decisions that are aligned to your highest timeline and step into what you're meant to be doing here, which ultimately results in so much joy and abundance and ease and peace. So these groups of beings that I channel are here, and they're reminding me. So I'm going to share a story about a specific client that I have. She's such a beautiful client, and we'll call her Jane, and her son John. John is in his early 20s, and what she shared with me is that he has been struggling with addiction for a long time. He's in and out of rehab. He's in and out of jobs that aren't long-term, maybe working in the service industry, etc. And she wanted to know how to support him, and was sharing that she's trying to make sure she holds boundaries, because when he's not in rehab, he's living at home. And she wants to maintain boundaries, but also encourage him. And what should she do? So when I channeled, when I looked into what was really going on, what I saw was that this is an advanced soul. I'm getting teary-eyed. This happens a lot, you guys. This happens so much, especially when I'm channeling for people's children, that these are advanced souls that are not used to this environment. I see them as many times on the spectrum, autism. They're literally rejecting school, and Western medicine is telling us to put them on medication, get them to conform, that they're special, in a way that we need to get them to conform, or put them in special classes in order to get them to learn how to conform. And these souls are meant to disrupt the system. Literally, they're disruptors, is what my guides are saying right now. So we have to stop looking at them as if they are not as special and unique and powerful as they truly are. So going back to my client whose son John is still living at home in and out of rehab, what they showed me about him is he's an advanced soul. I say this all the time. And he struggles with addictions because he's never fit in. He doesn't feel like he fits into this world. He doesn't feel like he fits into this reality. It's like, have you heard the term NPC robots, non-playing characters? This just came into my reality recently, the term NPC, but it describes perfectly what I'm shown. There's so many people here who have just been incarnating here over and over and over, and they're asleep at the wheel, and they don't really realize that they're souls in a human body. If you know that you're a soul in a human body and that there's something beyond this, then you're waking up, you're awake. And there's many different levels to awakening. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but my client's son John has always had a knowing that there's something more. They showed that he desperately misses home, but he can't quite put his finger on that, because we're not taught this stuff. We're not taught that this is what's going on here, that we're not from here, right? We're souls in a human body. Our home might be a different place, that we've incarnated for longer of our soul's journey. Our souls are infinite. So he doesn't feel at home here. He doesn't feel like he gets along. He looks at the world like, what is going on, and how am I supposed to fit into this? And so when he goes out and gets a job, it's very short-lived, because he's just going through the motions. He's not getting any joy from it. And it doesn't feel like it's supporting him in any way. It's like, what's the point? What's the point? He doesn't feel like there's a point. And so drugs and alcohol is a way to disconnect from that. It's a way to numb and just exist. It's a way to survive being an advanced soul in this place where he isn't seen for what he is, and he's not understood for what he is. So luckily his mom, beautiful client, I absolutely love her. She is advanced, she's awake, and she is coming to me for this. So she's obviously open to this information. So he has a great support in her. And what they showed me is that instead of, this is kind of they're reminding me how they worded this, instead of trying to get him to become the puzzle piece to fit into the reality, to force him to fit, encourage the reality to fit his puzzle piece. And what they asked is, when has he felt the most joy in his life? What has he done where he's felt joy? And she shared working with the elderly. And what they showed for him, before she told me that, they showed that he's here to work with groups of people like children and the elderly. And that he's here to help. This might look like him working with parents to help support children, but he's here to help wake people up to what he's going through. He is a front runner in some ways to show people that these children are coming in very advanced to show us what's not working so we can create the new world. All of these new earth leaders are being incarnated, but they're little kids, they're little babies, and they're saying chocked full of wisdom and DNA coded with wisdom on how to create the new world, but we're not looking at them like that. We're looking at them as, why aren't they conforming, right? How do we get them to conform? So John is here to be a leader in that. He's here to work with children, potentially work with parents to help them look at their children differently, potentially create education for the new education system. And what they shared with his mother, my client, was instead of trying to get him to get any job in order to, she's like, well, there needs to be some boundaries. He has to support his own way. She said, I'd be fine with him even volunteering, because what they showed is for him to go back and start volunteering, because that's where he finds joy. He's here to be a servant. So through maybe starting out volunteering with these groups of people, it's going to lead him. The next step in his mission will unfold, but it's not going to unfold as long as he's working in the service industry and not lit up by what he's doing. So he's here to work with children, really, ultimately, and help prepare the new earth, help us to see these children in a new way. So they recommended for her to offer ideas to him on how he can start getting engaged with children, maybe volunteering in classrooms, starting to get him into the place where he's supposed to be, That's aligned to his mission and purpose. And that's going to start lighting things up within him. And over time, the need for substances is going to reduce, because the substances are numbing him from him feeling disconnected from this reality and not living his purpose, because the society's telling him to live a certain way, and he's literally here to live a different way. He's literally here to reject the old way of living and live from his passions, from his intuition. But it's kind of it's a mess right now, because he's in and out of rehab trying to kick these addictions, and when he comes out, he's in these dead-end jobs that actually aren't lighting him up. So it's really important, and this message is for you too. It's not just for your children, but if you're not being lit up, they're reminding me of a client I had today. She's not lit up by her work. She went to college and got a degree, and she's in that realm where she's working with that degree, and it's not lighting her up. She tried to go back to college. That wasn't working out. And none of these things are working out for her, and it's because she's not in the area that she's meant to be, her mission and purpose. She's also meant to be learning things that she's not learning, as far as certain themes that her soul is here to explore. Life is not meant to be this hard. Life is not meant for us to push through the resistance. We ask, if you're having challenges, the first question is, what is this teaching me? How is this happening for me? And then what are your passions and your natural talents, and what are you passionate and brings you joy? That is where you want to start looking to take your first step, and to be open to what the universe is bringing to you. So, I could talk about this all day long, but for the sake of time, we got to wrap this up. What does this bring up for you? Do you see any of this in your own life? Do you see this with your own children? Please drop your questions and comments, and I'll see you in the next video.